We are going to talk about a movie.
This is gonna be a disaster.
It was one of the best movies of the year.
It's gonna go so well. Probably one of the last movies I would ever want to see in a theater. In the middle of the day in Hall H for everyone to kind of get themselves good to go.
Yeah.
So we just finished a bunch of panels. To start off today, we had a bunch of Star Trek panels, which was a lot.
Yeah.
There was a lot. So we started off with Star Trek Discovery.
Yes.
Which
I thought, like, look, they were talking about season 3. Season 3 kicks off with
1,000 years.
1,000 years.
1,000 years.
1,000 year time jump.
They go through a wormhole and go 1,000 years in the future.
Now, I haven't watched Star Trek Discovery.
I haven't either.
So, and the way they were talking, it seemed like that was announced at the end of last season, but I don't
think it was announced. I think something happened where he might have been able to infer it.
Okay.
Is more what I'm gathering.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen it. But from what they were talking about, it sounds like it's going to open up a lot of opportunities for them story-wise and character-wise.
Yeah.
Which is really, really exciting.
What I liked about that was that, so not only is it going to open up that, but obviously they're saying no. The characters going the 1,000 years are all the original ones.
Right.
So I like that idea because no longer is it straining them to the, oh shit, we get to the original series in X amount of years.
Right.
And now they're kind of and they don't have to worry about canon and like doing whatever. They can do whatever they want now, and
which is so
that's
cool.
what I like.
Yeah, I think that's going to be really cool.
They did show a trailer for the short stories.
Right.
Yeah, so they're doing Star Trek short stories again. Some of these looked amazing. The one with the tribbles, that looked hilarious. The one with Spock in an elevator. Like there's some little short stories that look like they're going to be pretty cool. Pike gets arrested in one of them, and that was like, oh, okay.
Like I said, it seems like a lot of what they're doing is going to be opening up a lot of new possibilities, but you're still telling the story with the characters that we've come to know.
Yeah.
And you're still getting those little homages and little things that they're pulling from other series.
Yeah.
Like the Tribbles and things like that, where you're getting kind of the best of both worlds.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought like the Discovery one was a really great, hey, Discovery's the new show, it's pretty, like, Discovery has done what it was meant to do, but, oh shit, sorry. Like, Discovery was a show that's kind of like, hey, let's reintroduce Star Trek. And it's done it to a good enough job to the point where they've now been able to expand further into into the new show that we got to see in the second panel.
I'm so excited. The second panel, Star Trek Lower Deck. Oh my god, I'm so excited.
So this is brought to you by the guys who do Rick and Morty, not Justin and Dan, but Mike. And this just looks insane.
I love it because, first of all, it's animated. It's a 30-minute animated episode for the season. And to me, it's a great way to bring Star Trek to new people, first of all, because as they brought up in the panel, it can introduce it to kids who are into animation. It can introduce it to adults who really float towards animation as a story. And it's also very intriguing, and my favorite part of it is that they're focusing on a ship that is what they call unimportant.
Yeah.
It's an unimportant ship in Starfleet that's a smaller ship, does kind of the more mundane tasks.
Yeah.
And it's really focusing on the social aspects of being on the ship, what those relationships look like. And it's a part that we don't really get to see too much of.
Yeah, like like, okay, the best example I can give that for me it felt like is Archer.
Yeah, a little bit.
It felt like Archer, but not in the crudeness, in the more, hey, we're gonna do a spy series, but from the angle of the workers within the spy house.
It's not just focusing on their missions. It's why do these people matter to each other? What's the relationship? What's their character development? All that kind of stuff is really going to be the heavy hand of this episode. We got to see the characters, what they look like, and that is hilarious.
Yes, I think they all look great.
It's such a great angle. It's such a great angle to take Star Trek into because it's a whole new medium that gives you so many new opportunities.
Yeah, I thought this was okay. I thoroughly enjoyed this one. I wouldn't say it was a highlight of the panel just because of what we're talking about next, but I thoroughly enjoyed this, and I'm really looking forward to it next year. I think it is going to be. If the next thing hadn't happened, this would almost be enough to get me to get CBS All Access. Like, it's kind of that, like, okay, maybe I'm tempted now. Maybe I'm tempted with that. Like, when the season's fully, I'm hoping they do more than like 10 episodes. I'm hoping they actually give this one like an actual series order where they're like, hey, here's 15, and they give them a little bit of breathing room where they can actually do something with them. But we'll see. And then after that, they brought out the entire cast of Star Trek Picard. This show looks incredible.
We got to see the trailer twice.
Yes, they showed the trailer. It's now online for you guys. The trailer is filled with so many surprises, but they're sticking to the continuity of Nemesis. So they are dealing with the consequences of Nemesis, something I never thought we would ever see again. Nemesis was the end, and Nemesis was it. And that movie ended on a bittersweet ending. So I am fascinated by the fact that they're going 20 years later and looking into the mindset of this character and where he is 20 years later. Patrick Stewart has just sunk into this role again. He looks incredible.
I personally don't think this role has ever left him.
No, it hasn't. And like as much as he will forever and always be Xavier for an entire generation and millions upon millions of people, he will always be Picard.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it was really fascinating to me to get to hear the writing team talk about how they were so glad that they had Sir Patrick Stewart there to say, would Picard do this? Would he say it this way? Because they even said, there is no one who knows Picard better than Sir Patrick Stewart, and he was such a gem for them to have to navigate through this series.
I thought the way this panel was handled, I thought Patrick Stewart talked extremely well about what the series was, and then they dropped some incredible footage, and Data's back. We have no idea how. We have no idea
what the heck happened.
We have no idea which Data it is, and that's the big thing. So I'm very, very curious about this show. It airs next year. I'm looking forward to it.
I think we're gonna, after this, have to do the CBS All Access.
I think okay. I think we will once it all airs.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Once this all hits, I think we're gonna have to do it.
I think we are too. Because wow. That panel floored me, and I was very excited.
And let me say, as someone who their Star Trek is the original series, I have never seen The Next Generation. That was never my show. That was never what was introduced to me as Star Trek.
Yeah.
But seeing the trailer for this and hearing the cast and the writing team and everyone talk about it, it very much makes me want to go back and watch it and then really be able to get into this series because it looks amazing.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, like, I was the opposite.
Yeah.
Next Gen has always been my Star Trek. And I've seen the original Star Treks, I own them as well, but like I always gravitated towards the Next Gen show, and I preferred the original movies.
Right.
So, whereas I don't love the Next Gen movies. Like First Contact is amazing, but outside of that, most of them aren't great, other than I have a soft spot for Nemesis because Tom Hardy is awesome and that movie, and it was the bittersweet ending. However, I am thoroughly excited for this show, and the fact that we're getting this show is the biggest thing that I'm still trying to wrap my head around.
I know. There's a building outside the convention center that the whole side of it is just plastered with a giant Picard poster, and we've been talking about it this whole con, how it didn't feel real. No. That we were getting it.
And they said in the panel they didn't want this to feel like a next-gen sequel, and from the trailer it doesn't feel like a next-gen sequel. Like, it is clear that this is its own thing, it's doing its own story, but I'm glad that they're not ignoring next-gen.
Right.
They're like, next-gen was a thing. They announced Jonathan Banks is coming back, like everyone is coming back, and this I'm really looking forward to, and I think it's going to be an absolutely incredible show.
I think so too. I really, really do. We also saw the Westworld panel, which I've never watched Westworld, but I've always wanted to start watching it. And it's just one of those shows that I've never had the time to get around to. I will say, knowing absolutely nothing about Westworld, I really enjoyed the panel a lot.
So did I.
The cast of this show is ridiculous. This cast is insane, and I feel like the questions they ask about technology in our world today and how the show is reflective of human nature was just fascinating to hear them talk about, even outside of the context of knowing what the show is.
So I've seen a couple of the episodes of the first season, and I just couldn't get into it. It's just one of those shows that I've just never been able to get into. I thoroughly enjoyed this panel, and I really wish that the show that they were talking about was the show that we got. Like, it just, I don't know, the discussions and everything that they were having, I was fascinated by. I just didn't get that from the show, and that's what frustrated me. So, I mean...
We may have to revisit it, and then even if the first season is rough for you, we may have to try and trek through to season 2 just to see how it feels. But I really, really enjoyed actually getting to sit here for the panel. And we've got 2 more panels left before Marvel today.
We are 3 hours down. Like, we have 3 hours to go, and we are into Marvel. I'm very excited.
I'm very excited too. We will keep you guys updated, and we will see you later.